Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SE-Talk. Ich habe ein Startinterview, Galan Lithium Limited, und zwar kommt die aus Perth, Australien, haben keinen Stand hier. Und bei mir ist da Juan Pablo Vargas de la Vega. Vega. Vargas de la Vega.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this mean? Has this any meaning or?
De la Vega was because it's like in English will be a hyphenated surname,
Okay.
but in Spanish you don't hyphenate.
Okay.
So De la Vega was a royal title,
Okay.
type of surname.
Okay.
So, means from the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay.
And then that was the time that you could buy titles. So if you were there, for instance, you could be De Vega.
Okay.
Or La.
Okay.
But De La was more of a.
Okay.
Or
Higher standard. Okay. Interesting. You're managing director of Galan Lithium. Lithium, that means you are in the lithium area.
Correct.
In which area?
At the salt flat of Hombre Muerto.
Okay, and this is in
Argentina.
Argentina.
Correct.
So how it comes that the Australian company is doing work in Argentina?
Well, I'm not only the managing director of the company, I'm the founder of the company. So 2.5 years ago, I was in Argentina, and I came across this opportunity. A month later, I quit my job, liquidated my stuff, and moved to Argentina to start this company. So I got all contracts done for the tenements that Galan has today. So once I did that, I put them together into a private company which merged with Dempsey Minerals at the time. We rebrand the name to Galan Lithium to show that we are in the right space of lithium. And also Galan is a name of the volcano that hydrothermally feeds the Hombre Muerto basin. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, and how the project looks like, and which stage you are?
Yeah, we've come a long way in the last 2 years. We have, we got drilling permits 3 times. We have 2 major projects. One of them is Candelas, which is in the southwest of Hombre Muerto. So we are bordering Galaxy Resources.
Mm-hmm.
And last year we did an 8-hole drilling campaign, and SRK did resource estimate for Candela. So we came out with a JORC compliant 2012 estimation of 685,672 milligrams per liter of lithium.
Okay.
So that tonnage of lithium carbonate equivalent, for us is enough to kick off the pre-feasibility study that we're currently undergoing. So we hiring companies from Chile that they got a lot of experience in salt flat as well. So our view is that this first pass is going to give us a better understanding of how the chemistry of Candelas is reacting to what we have. Since then, almost in parallel, a bit later, we start drilling our western tenements that now are called Hombre Muerto West. Hombre Muerto West comprises 4 tenements, of which we drill 2, which is Patapila, Rana and Sol. And when we drill it, the results were spectacular. You know, we have significant high grade, probably around 30% higher than Candelas. The impurities were low already, but we found that was even lower. So with that, you know, it's presenting a good problem. And this is something that we currently sort of assessing, and we need to do a bit more of a study once we get the resource estimation of the Hombre Muerto West. We expect to release Hombre Muerto West before the end of the month. SRK is doing that work. So once we have those results, then we'll be able to compare pears with apples of the 2 resources and see which one is a better one.
Okay.
And we're quite excited with the new data that we have at Hombre Muerto West. They gave us significant high grade, low impurities, and I believe, that this project could be as big as Candelas in terms of tonnage, 700,000 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent, but that's needs to be demonstrated by
Yeah, for
SRK.
sure.
They're doing that, but it's yeah, we're excited where it could go and what it could mean for our pre-feasibility study as well. Because
Okay, do you plan then a pre-feasibility study then also?
we
on the-
already started. So not halfway. At the start of our pre-feasibility study,
Yeah.
we found that we have a good problem to attend, and that's Hombre Muerto West.
Okay.
So, but we cannot do that comparison until we get the data from SRK that we will be hopefully releasing before the end of the month.
So the major trigger now is for 2020 to coming up with this pre-feas, first with the resource calculation and then with the pre-feas.
Correct. And within the pre-feasibility study, one of the things that we like to achieve as well is to have a pilot plant.
Okay.
So we're applying for once we finish, this is a series of things. We finish part of the engineering, which is the base load that we're going to feed into the documents that we're going to be lodging for the pilot plant.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the local government. We submit in the permit, and they approve it once we submit. So we would like to have, what I'm trying to say, we would like to have a pilot plant at site in the second half of this year, or at least commencing to build this pilot plant.
What does mean pilot plant? How big is this pilot plant?
Is pretty much a proof of concept. They're not that big. There could be 20 tons, 40 tons, 50 tons, something, that doesn't
Do you
require.
still will run this pilot plant then for a longer period so that you get also test material for potential takeoff agreements and so on?
Well, that could give you the base to put product in front of potential off-takers. It's important to have a pilot plant because we want to prove that the technology that we want to apply, which is very simple at this stage, that we want to apply the evaporation pond, which is we evaporate the brine. We don't evaporate, and that brine is not water, it's not consumable. It's 20 times as salty as sea salt, so as sea water. So we evaporate that brine that contains all the minerals, and that is a sequence of decantation and concentration that gets to a point that it gets put into the pilot plant for separation and the other and carbonization to get the lithium carbonate salt. Anyway, 20 tons or 40 tons, it's more or less what you could get on a pilot plant, and that will give us flexibility to send those to third parties. We can send that to other labs as well. We could understand better what we have, and this is a process that we want to get it right, because this is a critical phase to understand what you have, how it works, how it operates, because once you are up there at 4,000 meters, you don't want to get things wrong. And not only the pilot plant, you want to get the ponds as well, right, and every single step of the way.
So this is planned for this year. So resource calculation, pre-fee, and the pilot plant.
Correct. And then next year we'll have the second. Mid next year we'll have the pre-feasibility study finished. That's what we expect.
Normally these steps cost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have already this money in the bank, or do you need a financing?
We need to fund it.
For which rough we speak?
Look, it all depends on the size of your pilot plant, and this is something that we're yet to see. But if you want to have a rough estimate of how much money we'll need from here until the end of pre-feasibility, that will be around Australian $8 million.
Okay.
If we need to accelerate other things, we might spend all up to 10. So we'll as a company, as a junior company, we'll try to do this as cheap as possible. Mm-hmm. So if we can do this for 7, we'll do it for 7. That this is where.
Okay. Come to the shareholder structure of the company. How the shareholder structure looks now, and how many shares are outstanding, and where are the biggest groups?
Yep. The company has around 161 million shares, common shares. So, which for an Australian exploration company really is very tight. Yeah.
It's close to a Canadian one.
Yeah, not far off. Our market cap is close to $40 million. I mean, it's been wobbling. The market's been very volatile, and our largest group at this stage is held by directors of management that hold around 30% of the company, and then people that are related to, that we understand that that we know them, actually, the shareholders that we know them. You add that it will be 50 to 60% of the company, and the rest is retail. So it's very tightly held. In terms of who's number one, we got Ganfeng as our number one shareholder, and second largest shareholder is me. So I'm very motivated to make this work.
Okay, come to the lithium market. I think also for my viewers is interesting what you expect from the lithium. Then most people are a little bit surprised that lithium has not really a good run in the last 1.5, 2 years. Before it was a big hype.
Yep.
Everybody talks about electric vehicles and everything, and now you see the market is starting, but the lithium price going down. So what is your view on the lithium market?
I'm a mineral economist by trade, and I do look at the markets very closely. Everything comes down to demand and supply. Supply of lithium, it went really quickly. It pretty much doubled within a few years, and the demand just grew up very quickly, and the supply, on the other hand, it grew up even at a faster rate what demand needed. So currently we're sitting in an oversupply market. We expect that. I mean, it depends who you ask, but the view is that this year is going to be a volatile year, given that physically there's more lithium what is needed. Give it a couple of years, and the situation, or 3 years, depends who you ask again, and this situation will be completely revert. So, and the beauty of Hombre Muerto, just getting back to Galan, is that we have high grade, low impurities, and that translates into low operating costs. It translates once again into being the first quartile of the industry in terms of operating cost when we become a project. And we've seen real data, for instance, from Livent Corporation, that have been producing lithium carbonate at a SEMSO flat for around 25 plus years. We've seen the numbers that Galaxy has put out there, and some other studies of other smaller companies. So we've seen that the market. The beauty of Galan is that when we become a producing asset, we'll be very competitive. That's the key thing.
How long it will take? Do you have any time frame to bring it to production?
If you give me a blank check today, we will think about 4 years. But if you want to be more realistic, it will be 4 to 5 years.
Okay. So, yep. Thank you for the first introduction to your company. Also geht Lithium, fang von hinten an. Wir haben gesprochen über den Lithiummarkt. Warum ist eigentlich Lithium so niedrig? Und er sagt, es gibt momentan zu viel. Also Lithium da, es ist einfach das Angebot so hochgeschraubt worden, dass die Nachfrage es momentan nicht covern kann, und dadurch ist der Preis einfach niedrig. Bringt allerdings wieder zurück zu ihm, zu seinem Projekt. Er glaubt, dass sie im unteren Viertel der Produktionskosten ist, weil sie ein extrem reines Produkt eben erzeugen können, und dadurch wird die Verarbeitung einfacher. Und dadurch sind sie ein sehr billiger Produzent. Was wiederum zu dem Punkt, wann könnten sie in Produktion sein? Er sagt, in 4 bis 5 Jahren realistischerweise sind sie in Produktion. Ein Projekt ist in Argentinien. Sie haben 2 Projekte dort. Das eine, ich habe die Zahlen jetzt alle vergessen, aber es war ein großes Projekt, sehr gute Zahlen. Und sie haben aber ein zweites Projekt, das noch bessere Gehalte geliefert hat. Und daher ist er sehr optimistisch, dass diese Gehalte dann dementsprechend auch in eine bessere Ressourcenschätzung mündet, und an die arbeiten sie jetzt. Sie arbeiten an der Ressourcenschätzung. Dann kommt eine Pre-Feasibility Study, und was auch noch kommt, das sehr spannend ist, im zweiten Halbjahr kommt eine Pilotanlage, die zwischen 20 und 40 Tonnen produzieren soll, und das ist auch dann dementsprechend erstens mal Bestätigung, ob das ein System, wie Sie sich vorstellen, der Produktion funktioniert, Punkt 1. Punkt 2 natürlich auch genug Testmaterial, um das potenziellen Leuten, die es brauchen, auch zu schicken, damit sie dann dementsprechend auch das Lithium testen können, ob das für ihre Produktion geeignet ist. Also da kommen sehr, sehr viele Punkte jetzt dann dazu, also Briefe, also zuerst Ressourcenschätzung, Briefe und Powerplant, Pilotplant, die alles innerhalb der nächsten 9 Monate sozusagen abgearbeitet werden sollen. Und von daher ist ein relativ guter Newsflow garantiert. Und wenn Lithium natürlich drehen sollte vom Markt her, dann könnte das auch extrem spannend sein. Ich habe im Vorfeld mit ihm zum Beispiel geredet, sie sind nicht unbedingt traurig, dass der Lithiumpreis momentan so niedrig ist, weil dadurch die Investments massiv zurückgehen, was natürlich auch hilft danach, vor allem Erna-Projekt zu finanzieren, wenn sie demonstrieren können, dass sie zu extrem niedrigen Kosten produzieren können, denn das hilft natürlich dann im Markt, wenn man ein Low-Cost-Producer ist. So, das war es von Galan Lithium Limited. PDSC 2020 Toronto. Tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Danke.
You understand German?
A little bit.
Do a good job?
Well, I kind of follow everything, but yeah, it's...
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
It's